This is not the Manchester United I gave my life to. When David Beckham, the face of football royalty and a class of 92 icon, breaks his silence, the world listens. But what he just said about today is United squad. It is sitting. From ignored fans in a shit viral disrespect on camera, Beckham is calling out the rot inside Old Trafford. This isn't just a rant, it is a war cry. A5 the soul of the club. สัญลักษณ์การชนกัน Legacy Go Pride versus Entitlement. Welcome to the biggest cultural reckoning in Manchester United its modern history. And it all started with one word, disrespect. David Beckham's name is synonymous with football royalty. For Manchester United fans, he is more than a world-class player. He is a symbol of loyalty, discipline, and excellence. Beckham's career began in earnest in the youth ranks of Manchester United, its football class of 92, alongside Ryan Giggs, Paul Scholes, Gary Neville, Nicky Butt, and Phil Neville. Under the tutelage of Sir Alex Ferguson, Beckham blossomed into one of the finest right-up unities in world football. BSK then United, its players embodied humility and hard work. Beckham, despite his growing stardom off the pitch, remained respectful to fans, teammates, and club values. His commitment was evident in his performances, point crosses, tireless running, and clutch goals in critical moments. The defining trait of that era was a deep, often unspoken reverence for the bat, the weight of history, the responsibility of representing millions, the sacredness of Old Trafford. When Beckham left Manchester United in 2003 after a match with Ferguson, it wasn't because of disrespect but creative differences and the growing media spotlight. Still, Beckham never spoke of United. In fact, he often wore his love for the club on his sleeve, literally, with tributes and mentions in interviews. Fast forward 2 decades, and Beckham, now a respected owner of Inter Miami and a global ambassador for the sport, still keeps a keen eye on the club that shaped him. But in 2025, that legacy is being challenged not by outsiders but from within. On a high-profile position of Asia, several young United players found themselves embroiled in controversy. Their behavior, ranging from ignoring fans to offensive gestures, caught the eye of millions online. And Beckham, no longer willing to stay silent, spoke out. It began in Kuala Lumpur. United's post-season tour meant to reconnect with global fans and showcase rising talent, quickly unraveled. The squad included promising young players like Alejandro Garnacho and Emmett Diallo, both touted as the future of Manchester United. Yet during their arrival and subsequent training sessions, fans noted something troubling. The players seemed distant, dismissive, even disrespectful. A video emerged of Garnacho brushing past a young fan seeking an autograph, while Diallo was caught making what appeared to be a mocking gesture toward a group of supporters holding up a homemade banner. These clips, amplified by social media, sparked outrage. Fans had waited for hours in sweltering heat, not just for a signature, but for a moment of connection. In Hong Kong, the situation worsened. A local channel is reported that players were rude and disengaged during press events. Another clip showed a United player bring to roll his face as a fan presented him with a cherished vintage signature. United SPR team attempted damage control, citing exhaustion, schedule conflicts, and misinterpretation. But the damage had been done. Across the world, headlines buzzed with questions. Had Manchester United lost its soul? Were the new generation of players too entitled, too disconnected from the working class roots of the club? That is when Beckham stepped in, his voice combat piercing. I am not saying it is all of the players. Beckham began in an interview with severe support. But I am saying it is one or two that are disrespecting that bad, disrespecting those fans. And that is not okay in my eyes. Beckham's words carry weight not because of drama, but because of authenticity. In an era where post-match interviews are filled with platitudes and rehearsed lines, Beckham is a statement felt raw, real. Sitting across from the East Graham Hunter, Beckham's face was a mixture of sadness and restrained anger. I played for this club from the age of 16. I remember walking through those doors at the cliff training ground, knowing I had to earn everything. I had to earn my pets, my teammates' respect, and the fans' trust. That is how we were brought up. He continued, when I see players wearing that shirt and treating fans like their sons, it is not just disappointing, it is painful. Because the badge means something. It means everything. The interview quickly went viral. United fans applauded Beckham's honesty, while critics accused him of undermining a new generation. But many insiders confirmed that Beckham had long been frustrated with how modern football culture, especially at United, had drifted from its roots. Even some former teammates weighed in. Gainwell tweeted, Beck's is right. The standard of behavior at our club should be lead on and off the pitch. Real fans echoed the sentiment, respect the always. As Beckham's words echoed through media platforms, the club essentially was forced to respond. Erik ten Hag, the manager, gave a press conference emphasizing discipline and club culture, but stopped short of naming names. Internally, however, conversations had shifted from tactics to ethics. Within the of Beckham's interview, the pressure on Manchester United is top brass mounted. Former legends, the North-East, and supporters alike demanded accountability. And yet, in the locker rooms of Crington and the halls of Old Trafford, an air of defensiveness began to glow. Some current players reportedly felt betrayed. A source close to the team told the Athletic they think Beckham should have handled it internally, that going public made it worse. A few even hinted at jealousy, saying former players were too quick to the present generation without understanding the pressures of modern fame. But others, including veterans like Bruno Fernandes and Rafael Varane, saw Beckham's words as a wake-up call. Fernandes, who had turned the team during the controversial tour, posted a statement on Instagram. Wearing this badge is not a right, it is a responsibility. We all need to reflect and do better. Meanwhile, Erik ten Hag faced a full test of leadership. Internally, he called a team meeting, playing segments of Beckham's interview and urging his squad to listen, not with defensiveness, but with humility. You don't need to agree with everything he said, Ten Hag told them, but you need to ask yourself why he felt the need to say it. Outside the club, the media storm intensified. Headlines clashed. United divided versus Beckham the truth teller. Fans weighed in with online polls, radio coverage, and passionate pub debates. What became clear was that Beckham's comments had served a note deeper than a single incident. They had pieced into a generational identity crisis. What does it mean to be a Manchester United player in 2025? Some said it meant embracing modernity, marketing, and mental health. Others insisted it meant reconnecting with the values of body and self-success, hard work, humility, and hunger. The divide wasn't just among players and pundits, it existed within fans. Younger supporters raised in the era of social media and global branding often sympathized with the players. Older generations longed for the day when the club was defined by courage, not gloss. David Beckham had just spoken out against a few players. He had reignited a debate about the very soul of Manchester United. The fallout from Beckham isn't within fade, it intensified. Manchester United's dressing room, once divided, began to fracture further. While some players acknowledged the need for introspection, others felt under siege. Rumors circulated of heated arguments during training, with reports that one younger player clashed with a senior squad member over the club's Osakun policing. In an early snippet of an internal meeting, a visibly emotional senior staff member told players, "You re not just elites, you re custodians of a legacy. If you can't respect that, you don't belong here." The consequences extended beyond the training ground. Behind closed doors, the Manchester United board was having its own reckoning. Sir Dale Brailsford, overseeing the sporting structure under the Neo's leadership, repeatedly met with club legends including Brian Robson and Roy Keane. The message was clear: rebuild the culture or lose the club its identity. Beckham himself had no further public outbursts, but privately, it was said he was being considered for an ambassadorial advisory role, similar to how Johan Cruyff once influenced Barcelona, its direction possessing. The boardroom debate revolved around whether such a role would be symbolic or substantive. Meanwhile, fans made their voices heard. A protest banner was unfurled during the first prison home match at Old Trafford. "Respect the best, honor their legacy." The crowd wrote its approval, and for the first time in weeks, it felt like the soul of United was fighting Biscay. The media began drawing parallels to previous rebuilding moments in club history. The Munich Adler, the class of 92, the post-Ferguson slump, each had tested United its resilience. This, many argued, was the modern moral test. In the midst of this cultural psalm, Erik ten Hag made a bold decision. The captaincy would be reassessed. Bruno Fernandes was retained, but a new leadership council was formed, including Kobe Menu, Lisandro Martinez, and returning academy product James Garner. Ten Hag's goal: build a bridge between eras. The players, now aware that every gesture was under scrutiny, began to change their tone. Garner issued an apology video directly addressing the Kuala Lumpur incident. "To that young fan and all others I may have disappointed, I am sorry. I forgot who I am representing. It was raw, imperfect, but genuine." And Beckham, he simply reposted it with 2 words: "This matters." The tremors caused by Beckham's words eventually began to settle, but their impact remains in every corner of Manchester United. The club didn't just weather the storm, it started to evolve. United's next fixture served as an likely platform for redemption. In a friendly match in Tokyo, Garner sprinted to the stand after scoring 2-hand his assist to a young supporter. Amendola spent an extra hour posting, signing autographs, and taking photos. Slowly, the mood shifted from defensive to restorative. The club launched a new initiative called One Bath, One Bond, aiming to bridge the generational divide. It included workshops where current players met with former legends, tertiary from fans, and visited Manchester communities that supported the club through thick and thin. Beckham, invited as the honorary guest, addressed the players directly. "You rewriting the next chapter of this club," he told them, standing in the Old Trafford dressing room. "Do it with pride. Do it with love." Erik ten Hag, rejuvenated by the cultural reset, began emphasizing character as much as technical ability in recruitment. Summer signings included not just talented players, but personalities known for professionalism and humility. In a gold move, the club appointed a new role, head of culture and legacy, filled by none other than Ryan Giggs. Media narratives shifted. No longer fixated on scandal, they focused on recovery and reform. United Rising became the trending phrase, symbolizing not a return to the past, but an embrace of its lessons. And Beckham, he quietly continued his work, visiting Carrington now and then, sitting in on youth academy sessions and mentoring young players from afar. His impact, though sparked by confrontation, had led to connection. As the new season kicked off, Old Trafford buzzed with a different kind of energy. Not one of trophies or titles yet, but of unity. In the players' tunnel, a new mural had been painted. It showed figures from every generation, best child turn Cantona become Ronaldo, all walking to a single goal, the bet. About it, a quote from Beckham himself. Respect is earned by how you play, how you live, and how you treat those who believe in you. Manchester United hand he just found its voice. It had found its heart again.